To the people of Idaho, I'm so humbled and grateful that you trusted me to be your governor for the next 4 years. It's been the greatest honor of my life to serve and help chart a course for our great state. Thank you. After any election, the political wonks, including myself, dive deep into the results. And one thing on the ballot that was more popular than any contested race, what was it? It was the people's vote on education and tax relief. 80%, 4 out of 5 voters approve of what we achieved in the 2022 extraordinary session last September. We recognized the financial emergency existing and facing our Idaho families and schools as they grapple with the impacts of 40-year high inflation. We used our projected budget surplus to provide every Idahoan with immediate tax rebate and passed a new flat income tax so Idahoans could keep more of their hard-earned money moving forward. We also put the single largest ongoing investment ever into Idaho education, $330 million for public schools and $80 million for in-demand career training. The people's vote affirming tax relief and our education investments passed in every single county, every single city, and every single legislative district. The overwhelming support of our plan means unmistakably Idahoans expect us to support public schools. Idahoans spoke loud and clear with their votes, and I will sheepishly admit, I did check the ballot results in Emmett. Would you believe that funding education and cutting taxes was more popular than their hometown governor? Go figure. It's one of those healthy reminders that what we do here is far more important than any one of us, and the work we do will outlive all of us. Let's focus on the big things. Let's spend our time and energy to improve the lives of Idahoans for generations to come. With the winds at our back and a strong mandate from every corner of Idaho, let's work together to translate the people's vote into action by making, dare I say, historic investments in education a reality. Here's what else I took from the election. Idahoans like being first in economic momentum, revenue growth, job growth, responsible government, and cutting red tape. Idahoans like being a top 10 state for economic outlook and strong fiscal policy. Idahoans like a flourishing economy, historic tax relief, and record education investments. Plain and simple. The people of Idaho have given us a mandate to stay on course, put Idaho first, continue the path of prosperity, and keep investing in education. To the people of Idaho, we are listening, and we will continue to deliver. We are not backing down on education. We are doubling down on education. The budget and policy recommendations I'm mapping out today deliver on that mandate given to us by the people of Idaho. My plan, called Idaho First, the first in the plan is education. 4 years ago, I stated my goal is to make Idaho a place where we all can thrive and where our children and grandchildren choose to stay, and for those that left, choose to return. Expanding economic opportunities are providing jobs for our kids. And now we need to foster better jobs and higher incomes and a better quality of life that we can all be proud of. I'm a businessman and a family man, and I look at every issue through the lens of what our businesses and our families need to prosper. We all benefit from a strong economy, one where businesses can offer rewarding careers and opportunities that lead to strong families and strong communities. As I travel the state and listen to employers, about their challenges, workforce always tops the list. We've made huge progress in connecting employers with resources to train employees. And my Idaho First plan gets even more skilled workers through their doors. I'm very proud to announce my budget provides access to a scholarship of $8,500 starting next year to every graduating Idaho student in Idaho to attend an Idaho university, community college, career technical or workforce training program of their choice. Never we provided a catalyst of this magnitude for students to go on in whatever way suits them. There are many pathways to success in Idaho's economy, and all pathways deserve our support. For some students, it means getting their CDL, becoming an lineman, or pursuing welding. For others, it's engineering, teaching, healthcare, or business. No matter what path a student chooses, we are making it easier for them to get the advanced training they need to propel themselves and Idaho's economy forward. The Idaho Launch Scholarship will be the single largest investment in career, technical, and workforce education in state history. We want Idaho students brought up in Idaho schools working at Idaho jobs. This past fall, the student body presidents at College of Western Idaho, Boise State University, Lewis Clark State College, and the University of Idaho wrote an article on the need to invest directly in our students and our future workforce. The students, Adam Jones from Emmett, Tanner McLean from Middleton, and Caden Massey from Kamihai, and Flora Koenig from Boise, said, quote, "Now more than ever, we can't afford for our students to leave Idaho. A statewide scholarship program will not only benefit Idaho students, but will help keep our economy growing and competitive for the next generation. It is time to keep Idaho's future in Idaho." I don't know about you, but I think these students nailed it. And we have them with us here today. Adam, Tanner, Caden, and Flora, please stand up so we can recognize them. A person's foundation for success starts very young, and it starts in the home. Education of our children will always rest first and foremost with the family. Schools are partners with parents, and that is why we are making historic investments in both families and schools. Where parents are heavily involved in their child's school and education, we see better academic performance. In fact, Idaho is first in the nation for overall return on investment for education spending, which speaks to the dedication of Idaho families to prepare their children for productive learning every single day. We're also third in the nation for education freedom. Measures that include spending, school choice, transparency, and regulations. Whether it's a traditional public school, public charter schools, public magnet schools, private schools, online academies, or homeschooling. Hundreds of schooling options are available to Idaho families. In fact, Idaho is one of only a handful of states with the fewest restrictions on allowing parents to send their child to any public school they wish. And we are a top 10 state for the number of students enrolled in public charter schools. To further reinforce parents' role as the primary decision makers in their children's education, my Idaho First plan makes permanent the Empowering Parents Grant Program. The grants help families take charge of tools for their children's education, things like computers, software, instructional materials, and tutoring. These resources help children progress outside of the classroom. To date, we've served tens of thousands of students with these grants. The Empowering Parents grants are effective and popular and worthy of a continued investment. Most importantly, it keeps parents where they should be, in the driver's seat of their children's education. The Idaho Constitution recognizes the endurance of our Republican form of government depends upon an educated, intelligent people. The founders spelled out the duty to, quote, establish and maintain a general, uniform, and thorough system of public, free, common schools. As elected leaders, we promise to uphold this contract with the people when we take the oath of office. Our commitment to public schools is both our constitutional obligation and it's our moral obligation. My Idaho First plan delivers on both the constitutional mandate and the mandate from the voters of Idaho by investing in our public schools. Here with us today, we have some fourth graders and fifth graders from Centennial Elementary School in Nampa and their teacher, Jamie Hazing. Kids, please wave at us. Thank you for being here. What better way to strengthen our schools than to invest in the people on the front lines of education, our teachers? I want our students here today to clap twice if you agree with what I'm saying. Students, are you ready? Recess is the best part of the day. Students, clap twice if you agree. Just getting warmed up. Okay, here we go. Teachers get to work early so they can be prepared when their students arrive. Students, clap twice if you agree. Teachers are adapting all day long to a variety of learning styles and individual needs. Clap twice if you agree. Teachers spend their evenings and weekends grading papers and relying on parents and students. Clap twice if you agree. Best of all, teachers are passionate about preparing students for eventual careers and making them feel safe and supported. Clap twice if you agree. Great job, you guys. Attention, there might be an opportunity to you to participate also. Our students and their families deserve quality teachers who are respected and compensated competitively. Great teachers Great teachers can motivate and change the trajectory of a student's life. That's why my plan boosts starting teacher pay yet again, finally targeting Idaho in the top 10 state for starting teacher pay. When I started this job 4 years ago, Idaho was 41st in the country for starting teacher pay. In 4 short years, we will have catapulted starting teacher pay in Idaho from the bottom 10 to the top 10. We are also going to grow the salaries of all teachers, including the most experienced ones, to ensure students have the classroom support they need. What does this mean for the average teacher? It means a $6,300 pay raise. When we show teachers we support them, we're showing families their child education is our priority. I'm also proud that we've made great advances in my top education priority over the last 4 years, literacy. Learning to read from a young age is the best foundation for learning later on and makes our investments worthwhile. Since I took office, we have increased literacy funding 5-fold. Local school districts determine how best to deploy the resources. Everything from expanding kindergarten, reading coaches, reduced class sizes, or summer reading programs. This past fall, reading scores for all kindergarten through 3rd grade teachers are the highest in years, with impressive gains among our youngest learners. The scores are steadily increasing. And while we have more work to do, the results are encouraging. They show we are headed in the right direction. We must continue to prepare our younger generation with the education skills and lifelong passion for learning. That's why we're putting Idaho first and education first. You know, most people want the same things: health, safety, high quality of life, freedom to choose their own path, strong schools, an abundance of rewarding, reliable career opportunities, and to keep more of their hard-earned money. Our ability to deliver on these things, or at least not stand in the way of them happening, determines our fate. We've all seen states that continually fail, and as a result, people don't want to live there. In fact, I've heard some suggest that California Governor Gavin Newsom is really Idaho's Realtor of the Year. Clap twice if you agree. Pretty impressive. But in Idaho, we're striking the right balance between investing in key critical areas like our schools and giving back more of Idahoans' money. In just 3 years, we've given back more than ever before in Idaho history, a whopping $2.7 billion to Idaho citizens and businesses. No other state in the country has given more tax relief per capita than Idaho. And we're not done yet. We deployed $2.7 billion in immediate tax relief in 4 ways: slashing payroll taxes for small businesses, increasing the grocery tax credit, giving Idahoans the largest ever reimbursement of their property taxes in 2020, and of course, back-to-back income tax rebates and back-to-back tax cuts for both personal income and corporate income tax. The tax rebates help thousands of small businesses across our state, as well as senior citizens on fixed income, providing relief from crushing inflation, where everything from food to fuel was skyrocketing. Our commitment to cutting taxes doesn't just start and end with one-time relief. We also cut back Idahoans' ongoing tax burden by more than $650 million. We took the income tax from 6 brackets down to 1 and created a fair, predictable, and lower flat income tax once and for all. Folks, what we're doing is working. Consider this: the Tax Foundation ranks states on their business tax climate. It's a useful barometer of a state's competitiveness to attract and retain businesses. In just 4 years, we've risen 6 spots, and that's even before accounting for the income tax reduction we adopted in last year's special session. Cutting taxes keeps our business climate competitive, allows Idahoans to keep more of what they earn, and it is just the right thing to do. One area where we really shine may surprise you. The Tax Foundation ranks Idaho as having the 3rd lowest property taxes in the country. So why does that feel surprising to so many? When your property tax bill arrives, you see it all at once. It's not hidden in each paycheck. It's not pennies on the dollar on every purchase you make. You get a bill for the full amount, and I understand why many Idahoans struggling under the weight of record inflation get sticker shock when the bill from local government arrives. The reality is no property taxes are paid to state government. No state official in this room can decide what local property taxes will be. Local governments alone set their budgets. However, some of the parameters around local property taxes are set in state law, like the circuit breaker. So people turn to state leaders in this room for answers. Idahoans want relief from rising property taxes, and we hear them. My Idaho First plan puts another $120 million towards property tax relief to answer the call for help from Idahoans. There is no doubt Idaho's tremendous pace of growth is putting a strain on services at the local level, which increases the potential to drive up your local property taxes. But too often, we are simply shifting burdens across taxpayers. We should be addressing the needs head on. Let's work on better ways to facilitate growth, paying for growth, and give local governments the tools they need to keep taxes low. How? By continuing to make long-range strategic investments in roads, water, and other key areas to maintain our high quality of life. The fact is, investing in local infrastructure is property tax relief. Over the past 2 years, we've made the biggest investments ever in our most precious resource, water. When we're investing in drinking water and wastewater infrastructure, we saved Idaho citizens and local taxes or fees what they would otherwise pay in property taxes to cover those improvements. Now I'm proposing more investments in water quantity and water quality infrastructure, not only to reduce the burden on local property taxes, but also to secure abundant clean water for the years to come. Investing in local roads and bridges is property tax relief. Last year, we put nearly $500 million into local roads, bridges, and airports. We took a major bite out of the backlog of deficient bridges that local governments have been struggling for years to repair. And we did it without raising taxes or fees. That buys us not just property tax relief, but safer roads, less drive time, and less congestion. Now I'm proposing even more for local bridges and new ongoing funding for transportation safety and capacity to build on our success. We will continue to keep taxes low, but we must do responsibly. We all see the flashing red lights in the economy. Simply put, Washington, D.C. is driving America towards an economic cliff and seemingly pushing down on the gas. Perhaps never has Lieutenant Governor Bedke's grandfather's word rung true. Quote, "It won't be the bad years that put you out of business. It's what you do in the good years that sets you up for either failure or success." We must be prudent. We must prepare for the impending economic downturn. And now, more than ever, we must make wise decisions that stand the test of time. We can't cut beyond the level of services Idahoans demand, and we must not use our one-time surplus for wasteful spending. Given the economic volatility on the near horizon, this may be our one last shot in the near future to make significant tax cuts that will sustain a balanced budget over time. Let's work together, unlock our creativity, put these $120 million of property tax relief into the highest and best use. We're also making a difference with our investments in safe and healthy communities. We're on track to advance all of the recommendations from our historic 3-branch Behavioral Health Council. And this year, my Idaho First plan does even more to improve resources for troubled youth and mental health crises. We're going to make long-term investments in behavioral health services more accessible to our neediest neighbors, and add more doctors for rural Idaho and more healthcare workers overall. And my Idaho First plan backs the blue again, adding a 10% pay raise for our brave and dedicated law enforcement officers. What does this mean to your average state trooper? It means a $6,000 raise. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. While other places seek to defund the police, here in Idaho, we defend the police. Our men and women in law enforcement work tirelessly to help keep us safe, many times confronting the most heinous side of humanity. This past fall, 4 young lives were ended in one of the worst crimes in our state and our nation have ever seen. Ethan, Kaylee, Xana, and Maddie were brutally murdered in a home near the University of Idaho campus. The loss of these incredible people is felt exponentially, and we will never forget them. Amen. We will vigorously seek justice for the victims and the many loved ones they leave behind. I ask everyone now to please pause for a moment of silence and prayer for them. Thank you. Our law enforcement heroes handle this loss with professionalism, and they routinely encounter dangerous and difficult situations to keep us safe, especially when it comes to fentanyl. We are losing more and more young lives to the most potent and deadliest drug our society has faced, fentanyl. It's 50 times more potent than heroin, 100 times more potent than morphine, and hard to detect. Fentanyl is now the leading cause of death for American adults under age 50. Michael Stabell, a 15-year-old from Coeur d'Alene, was another young Idahoan with a bright future, whose promising life was cut short. Michael's tragically lost his life when he took a pill he thought was a pain reliever, but came from an unknown source. The pill contained a lethal trace of fentanyl, as small as a grain of salt, killing him almost instantly. Michael's mom and dad, Jennifer and Frank, are here with us today. Jennifer and Frank, we're so sorry for your loss, and thank you for being here. They described their only child as their miracle baby and a boy who loved the outdoors and his family dearly. We are now taking steps to protect our youth from fentanyl. All of these steps grew out of our Operation Esto Perpetua initiative last year. To root out this growing problem, I called for the development of a new statewide interdiction team at the Idaho State Police. In addition, enhanced testing and training and a new educational awareness campaign we just launched will help. Our campaign is called All It Takes, and it launched last week at fentanyltakesall.org. It will feature Michael's story and the stories of many other young Idahoans who have lost their lives to accidental fentanyl poisoning. We aim to inform our youth about the dangers of fentanyl, its accessibility, its potency, and its ability to take everything from you and your loved ones, as it did with the Stabells. I have seen for myself how the Mexican drug cartels control the access into our country under the current administration. The vast majority of illicit drugs in Idaho, including fentanyl, are sourced in Mexico. We will not relent in our efforts to end the supply of fentanyl by continuing to work with our states to the south and helping to secure our border. In 2021, the state of Arizona called for support in controlling the chaos at the border. I sent a team of drug interdiction specialists with ISP to help. I'm pleased to announce that I'm sending a team back to the border. They will hone their skills and return with even better knowledge to train police in our state on the best ways to get fentanyl off our street. Colonel Ked Wills and a few of our state police are here with us today, including Sergeant Darren Gilbertson, Sergeant Chris Cotterell, Trooper Mitch Howard. Can you gentlemen please stand? Our law enforcement, active military, and veterans all deserve our gratitude for their service and commitment. Thank you. It's easy to be cynical about government when you see what's happening in Washington, D.C. and other dysfunctional states around the country. But it's also easy to be inspired by the real difference we are making in Idaho when we put Idaho first. Focusing on schools, tax relief, safe communities, strategic investments, and good government. Folks, after years of being around the political process, I've learned that politics can complicate otherwise pretty simple concepts. There's nothing complicated about our state's success. There's nothing complicated about how to keep our success going. Idaho first. Listen to the people. Stay on course. Keep the big picture in focus and don't lose our direction. Concentrate on what matters way beyond our time here. Double down on our support for schools and tax relief and continue key investments to keep up with growth and make our communities safe. It's that simple. I know you're motivated to get things done, and I am too. I'm grateful for our partnership. We will put our trust in God, and together we will get our work done efficiently and transparently, focusing on things that matter. The people of Idaho expect us to work together, and working together has always been the only way to get historic things done. Thank you, and God bless.